Do I have everybody's attention now?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to ZeerTalks Wrestling and welcome to the reaction for Monday Night Raw, 9th of March 2026. Yeah, I didn't do the watch along because I was on Tutu Calcio. Big up to Gio, Dom, and etc. for having me on as a guest. As there's another one. You know what I mean? Yeah, fun experience. Afterwards, had to watch, will continue to watch Raw back because I did watch the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, this Monday Night Raw, I thought it was pretty good. I know people I don't know how people are gonna feel about this. Knowing fans, they're gonna be fickle. They'll be, oh, some will be, oh, it was terrible. I thought it progressed certain things personally. When you think about it, it did progress certain things. Now there are things that's a bit overdone, and we'll talk about it. So it's not a perfect show, but it's pretty good. I'm not even act like it's pretty bad. I mean, compared to what we got, you know, on SmackDown, oh my god. Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, we'll get to it. Before we begin, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press the alarm bells, future content notifications, like, comment, either way, go check socials, and hopefully you're good wherever you are. I say we begin, and hopefully I don't make this a very long thing. So I am using this website, you know what I mean? Since now I have this set up around me. By the way, go check ZeerTalks Football and FCB in the description down below. New content are out there, so go check them out. You know what I mean? And the socials are over here. So anyway, we kick off Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins and his goons in this whole like masked up attire. Now, I have to say, the beginning of Raw, it was basically Adam Pearce calling out what you call it, Seth Rollins, and he wanted to talk to them. And he didn't even want to do it because the Vision wanted it. He wanted to do it himself personally. Oh my, what's going on here? But so yeah, obviously then Seth pulls up, but he pulls up with his goons of students that scatter all over ringside. And Seth was standing on the announce table, which I mean I assumed it was him when I was watching, but everybody else were scattering around, and there was so many of them that I didn't even. I mean, obviously, when you assume, you don't know exactly until they confirm it. You would still think it's not Seth Rollins, really, is it? Like, with how many people there, maybe a few of them you can tell it's not him because they're big. Like there was one big guy, for example. But yeah, with some of them you can't really tell like that. But we all know they are his students from his wrestling school. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, Seth Rollins and all of them get to the ring. They're scrabbling around. Next thing you know, Seth Rollins is the one that's standing in the middle of the ring, removes the mask, and now Adam Pearce talks to him and he's giving him this advice of how he's not medically cleared, shouldn't be doing this, all these tricks that he's been doing. It's working now, but eventually it won't work. And once the Vision gets him, his career's over, so he should stop doing this, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, then Logan Paul, I believe it was his theme music that hit. And it was him and Austin Theory that interrupted. And they basically were making threats to attack him and him and whatever. But obviously, they all scatter around, escape. And now, next thing you know, Logan Paul and Theory, yeah, one of them was they couldn't attack him. And then LA Knight pulls up, the Usos pull up, and they attack Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Obviously, in different order, of course. The LA Knight alone, then Usos pulled up later on after LA Knight got dropped by both. Yeah, I will say I actually thought it was cool what Seth Rollins, Adam Pearce, and Logan Paul stuff happened. Once LA Knight and the Usos got involved, and I get why they're involved, but I don't think that bit was necessary. It could have been in a different segment, but it is what it is. If it was me personally, I just keep it about Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory and Adam Pearce. Literally, or like at least they're involved. You don't need LA Knight and Usos attacking. I don't think we needed that. So yeah, but we will talk about the Usos later on. I believe, guys, we will talk about the Usos later on. You know, but anyway, now there's a whole gauntlet match. Now, I will say this. I think some of the matches were great, some were not. It is what it is. Now, I'll say this. I thought Io Sky versus Lyra Valkyria was a good match. Io Sky winning. Listen, I get why she'd win because she's the bigger star. But did she really need to win that match? Maybe Valkyria was better off winning, you know? But they went with Io Sky. Fine, whatever. Then you get to Raquel Rodriguez. Now, one thing I'll give Raquel, she looked very dominant in that match against Io Sky. But, however, the whole Liv Morgan distraction, Vaquer distraction caused Raquel. She got pinned by Io Sky. But then she did look on the roll up, but then she did look dominant. She looked dominant and she attacked Io Sky. And that gave room for Ivy Nile when she enters as what participants? A fourth to just not take out, but pin Io Sky after she did the Tahana Bomb on Io Sky through the apron, on the apron. So now it's Bailey versus Ivy Nile. And I can't lie, guys. This is where I start to not like what's going on a little bit. Now, Bailey's looking like an idiot for even checking on Io Sky because it's like you had a rivalry and now all of a sudden you're checking on her. Like, no apology, no nothing. You're just checking. And now Ivy Nile's taking advantage. And I thought this match was slow. And I was not a fan. But I am a fan of Bailey winning, though. However, I was not a fan of the match. I'm not going to lie. That match itself, nah, not for me. Not for me. Bailey did win, though, so happy days. And then next thing you know, what did she win with again? Bailey to Bailey. Then it's Asuka versus Bailey in the end. And yeah, I have to say that match was pretty good. Asuka looked a bit dominant. And listen, Kairi Sane was about to interfere and help Asuka. And remember, Asuka is demanding Kairi Sane help her or else she's cooked. Well, she should have been cooked ages ago. And to be honest, Kairi Sane a long time ago should have realized that Asuka is using her. But it is what it is. To be fair, the whole Kairi is funny. But yeah, and we did see them arguing a little bit at some point backstage. What was it? I think it was when there was a segment I just saw up there somewhere. It was the segment backstage. Oh, them when Kofi and Javon Evans was chatting, and basically he convinced him to be in the part of their tag team faction, whatever. Since Woods got injured, yeah. Listen, I don't recommend that. Javon Evans, please don't join that. And he got a day off, by the way. I don't know why. Just take the day off, blood. You know what I mean? But yeah, Bailey, she wins with what was it? Rose Plant after Valkyria neutralized Kairi Sane. Bailey won right. Chan JJ. Yeah. So yeah, by the way, how Valkyria neutralized Kairi was just a mad dropkick from out of nowhere. Fair play. You know what I mean? And Bailey just capitalized, really. You know what I'm saying? And then we got and by the way, she's gonna face AJ Lee next week for the IC Championship. Then we got Penta versus El Grande Americano. Now, initially, it was supposed to be the El Grande Americano of the original one, the American one, the one that's face in WWE, the one in face in AAA is El Grande Americano, the fake one, the Mexicano one, the one that's German. Realistically, it's Ludwig Kaiser. Let's be honest, but he acts like the Mexicano one. So, but he got cursed, and then you have Rayo and Bravo chasing him, and he probably got beat up, and that's why the fake took advantage of the opportunity. But he was thanking a lot of people, like his fans, people at home, Mexico, and he said he did this for the people that fight for what they believe in, or people that fight to get to their dreams and all that stuff. Big up to Penta for the speech, to be fair. But yeah, obviously then this guy, took over the spot. I thought they fought a pretty good match. That Mexican Destroyer, by the way, was amazing. I do have to say, that Mexican Destroyer was fantastic to end the match. And it was a springboard one too, by the way. You know what I mean? Springboard one. So fair play to to Panta for the W. And I have to say, I thought even El Grande Americano looked good. He looked good even when he did that pose by the IC Championship. I found that very funny. Um, so yeah. Then we get to the moment, guys. And Dominic is pissed, by the way, guys. He is, bro, he is livid blood. But before we get to that point, there was a promo being cut by Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I want to actually see if I can find that Vaquer promo because it was in Spanish. Long story short, as far as what I remember, she was talking about how Liv Morgan, the problem that Vaquer has with Liv is that Liv is relying on people to win when she has the talent or with everything that she's given. Uh, that's what I remember. Vaquer promo. Let's see if I can find something here that translates it because no, not this. Yeah, this, but I want the translation, blood. No translation? Oh, God. Clearly, I can't get no translation, blood. Well, that's a shame. I would, you know what? What did she say here? You know what? This works. I've heard what you have to say last week. Okay, what she said last week. And then she said, what she say? I'm trying to read the, okay, I can see how good you are. I can see everything you learned from the privilege you've had, okay? I can see everything you've worked for and all the skill you've gained from training from the best, so like what I mentioned, okay? Then she said, what bothers me about you isn't your stupid sound, basically, okay? What really pisses me off that you have all the tools you have to be great. And then she said something, but you're too ignorant to use them, okay? You hide behind the trashy man, Dominic, by the way, and send your friends to do your dirty work for you. And are you proud of that? And just so you know, we've both had privileges. And those mud huts made me who I am. Yo, that's deep. And those mud huts made me who I am. Proud of that because you were forged by the people around you with experience. I was forged in hell. I was forged in fire. Yikes. We both took different roads to get here, but now we both have the skill to be here. Then she said, the difference is that you've become lazy. Wow. And then she said stuff in English too. And yeah, long story short, Stephanie she's gonna, I mean, long story short, is like she's basically saying that she's sick and tired of, Liv Morgan disrespecting, the business with taking shortcuts when Vaquer's gone through everything and she's out here just like getting given everything. You know what I mean? It's one of them ones in it. But personally, let's be honest, Liv is gonna win. I actually enjoyed that promo last week when she was cutting it the way she cut it after, Vaquer's cut that promo in Spanish, which again she did tonight again. But that time when she was making Liv cry the way she did, I mean, to be honest, I still find this very funny. I'm sorry, guys. This it's still funny. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's still funny. It's still funny. But realistically speaking, yeah, I thought Vaquer done well again. I think she does very. One thing I'll give Stephanie Vaquer. She's good when she speaks Spanish, but when she speaks English, it's not bad, but it could be improved on. Like if she's gonna speak more English here and there, I think she needs a spokesperson around her. I think having a spokesperson around her will do her wonders, but the problem is she's babyface. That's the only problem, you know. By the way, I forgot to mention quickly, just to keep track. This thing, I still don't know what direction we're really going. They need more time to tell the story. This match, I guess Bailey versus AJ should be good, but I'm intrigued to know what will happen with Natty and Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch wasn't in the show for the women's IC title stuff. So let's see what happens next week. This match, I don't know what's gonna happen for the IC title. I wouldn't be shocked if they do like a whole multi-man match for the IC championship at Mania. Um, And yeah, obviously, and the Vaquer stuff. I mean, listen, I like what they're. You know, people will say the big match is the Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. Fine, that's on paper, but let's be honest. I think Vaquer and Liv is actually telling a little bit of a better story about their careers than Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Say how it is. Yeah. And I still think Vaquer will carry Liv in that match of Mania. Now, two more things to talk about before we end it off here. Now, Dominic gets pissed off backstage. He gets pissed off and he's looking for Finn, but the Finn can't be found. So he wants to actually speak out in the ring about Finn Balor. He calls out Finn Balor. He thinks that Finn Balor cost him the IC Championship. Fair enough. Finn Balor pulls up and he said he's sorry, he tried to help, blah, 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 blah. But I tried to teach him basically that he has to win things on his own. He can't be given everything. Fairs. And then obviously at some point, Finn Balor basically said that Ray was right. He's just a spoiled prick. Allah many slime. I am Muslim, so Allah many slime. I shouldn't be swearing. But he said you're spoiled, you know what. And then obviously it led to a whole thing of which Dominic and Finn Balor were having some brawl. JD McDonough tried preventing it. And obviously, because they were close, even Finn and JD McDonough, when he was looking for Finn, they ended up pulling up to the ring together. When initially it was Dominic, Raquel, and Liv Morgan, the kayfabe girlfriend of Dominic's, pulled up to the ring first. Anyway, JD tried stopping Finn, but obviously Dominic wanted to continue fighting Finn. So Finn does the I believe it's called the Meteora. And then he's about to do the whole drop kick thing and then coup de grace, but McDonough stops Finn Balor, gives him a clothesline, and now they're absolutely obliterating Finn. And this is, I mean, Finn just looks like Finn at the end. Wow, he even shoved Finn Balor at one point in the beginning after he called him a you know what. So yeah, he got laid in the ground. Yeah, and it is what it is. No more Judgment Day. And again, I said last week, and I'm going to say it again. I'm glad that Penta took the IC Championship and all he has is that Triple R Championship. Realistically, he does not need the IC Championship to face Finn Balor. And Finn Balor doesn't need to win the IC Championship. Realistically, Finn Balor, what he needs to do is beat Dominic at Mania. Remember, Dominic pinned Finn to become IC Champion. Finn needs to get his revenge this year at Mania. And then what also does need to happen is, guess what? We also do need Finn Balor to start chasing for world title gold eventually. Eventually. So, will Triple H do that? I doubt it. But we can only hope a little bit, can't we? So, Femi versus Rusev, it was going to happen. I think he picks Brock Lesnar, or he, challenges Brock Lesnar next week, by the way. I thought it was going to be LA Knight, but what I saw with LA Knight today or tonight or last night, whatever, I don't see it anymore. I really don't see it anymore. I think that Elimination Chamber thing is not a good look on LA Knight. And I think they're like, yeah, Femi. And they've heard the fans, so cool. Now, main event. Now, in the beginning of the show, Usos were asked thoughts on CM Punk and what he said about Roman. And are they going to say anything to Roman? Jay said no. Jimmy said, yeah, we are. Now, this happened. Now, Punk was basically feeling a little guilty of what he said to Roman. And then he did this whole thing of like, does it feel great to be on Monday Night Living Color and wherever we are, or Monday Night or whatever, you know what the shtick he says. And then obviously he talked about his guilt of last week, what he said about, burying Roman next to his dad and all that stuff. Usos interrupt. And one thing I like about this, by the way, none of this. None of this stupid yeet. Yeah, when they're pissed off. I love it. I love the fact none of this. Be serious. Be serious. Your family is literally being targeted here. Good. So Jey Uso was on serious mode, and that's the best Jey looked in a while. Good. Bro looked better than all this Mania feud with Gunther last year after winning the Rumble. Great. Keep that up. Not like it's gonna happen, I know, but it is what it is. Obviously, Jimmy then spoke for him because Jay always said apologize, whatever. Jimmy was basically saying he respects CM Punk and everything like that. And he said you can target Roman all you want, but when you're targeting the family or uncle, yeah, he basically was saying it's foul and all that stuff. So, like, all he asked is for him to apologize. Then CM Punk, I'm not gonna lie, CM Punk was doing this whole gaslighting thing because he was like, what? Did they even explain what he said? Bro, Punk was basically like, he was talking about how Roman disrespected the Usos all of a sudden and all that stuff. And she was like, he still don't get it. Apologize. And then he's like, you know, I'm sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry that Roman's disrespected you for so long. No apology there. He's like, I'm sorry that, you know, Roman Reigns disrespected Cody, you know, my old mentor, you know, what you call it? Dusty Rhodes, you know, the father of my friend Cody Rhodes. No apology, you know, and all that stuff. And at some point, he even said he's sorry that Roman Reigns doesn't even turn up to work, to the point that, and he should be arguing with that guy, but instead he's arguing with the young boys. And they just shoved Punk into the ground. Or, I mean, Jay shoved Punk. Punk was about to do something, and then Jimmy punched him into the ground, and then they left, and they're like, yeah, leave him, whatever. By the way, I forgot to mention, Punk did talk about his little history with the Samoan dynasty a little bit. You know, and Sika, the father of Roman. He did talk about the little history, and that was when Jimmy said, "You're not. This guy doesn't get to apologize." Yeah, listen, I was a big fan of this. I was a big fan of this whole bloodline development with CM Punk, and you know, I thought about something. The Usos are tag team champions right now in Raw. Roman's, let's be honest, he's gonna beat CM Punk. He's gonna be world champion. So we're gonna have the whole bloodline domination again. Some will like it, some will not like it. The way I look at it is like this: people will enjoy that in the beginning. In the end, they'll be fickle again. It is what it is. I've come to accept that. But as for this feud, I think it's getting to a place in which it's getting personal, and I love it. I actually love this segment. I thought this one, now we're starting to build something. This match was pretty good. Yeah. Intrigued to see what happens IC Championship, though. Bailey winning was the right choice, but I'm intrigued to see what happens next week. Because, by the way, even Maxine and Natty brawled, and Natty was talking about why she turned on Maxine, and she's like, you know, I'm now Natty, not Natalia anymore, not shaking the backside. You know what I mean? I'm making people kiss it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But you get what I mean. So, yeah, and obviously the Seth Rollins stuff, we need a bit more. But, again, we have a couple of weeks to get somewhere. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. At least with some of these stories, I mean, it started with something and we're continuing here. I mean, on SmackDown, I mean, let's see what happens. But Cody and Randy, what are they even going to do with that, man? You know, like I did in the video yesterday talking about it. Like, I still stick by, what are we doing with that? But with these, at least you can, with some of these, you know, like it started somewhere and it's continuing, love, or it's progressing. Good. So, yeah, this show in general, there is some downside. Even the Stephanie Liv Morgan stuff, you know, there's progression in it. Did it start great? Not really. But it's continuing. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give this show. It actually had a few downsides. Very few. Yeah, bro, I can't lie. For me personally, because I rated this, but the whole LA Uso stuff was not necessary. The gauntlet was a hit and miss thing for me. I can't lie. This was good. This is good, and this is good. Yeah, I can't lie. I have to give it a 4. I have to give it a 4, guys. 4 out of 5. Yeah, usually these shows are like, I don't know, 2.5s, 3s, 2s, 1s, but this one I have to be reasonable and give it 4. I think it was only one other time I gave that type of score. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to end it. You guys know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press the alarm bells for future content notifications. Like, comment your way. Go check socials above, and hopefully you're good wherever you are. Yeah. And listen, the other channels over there is in the description down below. So, yeah, guys, until then, you take care. Let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. And I'm out. See you guys.